Hello, this is Patrick White from AA Commodities and Investments with your Sunday night, September 15th market recap video here. As you can see here, we got the corn market open. We're up 2.5 cents here at 371.25 on December, and we've got November soybeans up 3.25 cents at 902 even. We had a gap up here on soybeans and corn, and some interesting news here over the weekend. But I'm going to go ahead and get it started off with a disclaimer. Just remember that everything that I'm talking about here is just my opinion, and that there's no direct trade recommendations. If you'd like to read the full disclaimer, please pause the video now. So as you can see here, we had a pretty firm open on the overnight. As far as why that is we had an attack here on the Saudi oil field over the weekend. There was a drone attack on a Saudi oil field, and it is said to, that oil field is said to have produced about half of the Saudi Arabia oil supply and about 5% of the global output of production. So it's pretty much the biggest area for oil in the world that got attacked here by a drone. The U.S. says that it's locked and loaded as far as retaliation, but we'll see, if they want to make good on that promise. But I guess early rumors is that it could be the Iranians, but we'll see what happens there. But bottom line is this has the oil markets here rallying pretty significantly here. I've got my crude chart up here. We're up about $6 on crude, which is about up 636. That's the highest I've seen it go in a single day here, and it was just because I think that attack was over the weekend and they gapped it higher. They are off the highs though. But, we'll see, certainly still keeping it in there strong. Went from 54.85 to 61 here over the weekend. Just pretty volatile time here. Obviously, soybeans, they've really been rallying. That's been followed just on the, on the coattails of the soybean oil market. As you can see, there's a pretty good sized gap up there here on the overnight. I guess soybeans, they've rallied about 36 cents here in the last about 3 days. And I just want to touch on real quick, we're not at an advantage alert here again. And I want to remind you, the advantage alerts are my sell notifications, if you will. When this first white dot appears on this chart, I send out a phone call to all my subscribers, and it just gives them a recommendation to sell their cash soybeans as far as producers go. And you might want to be looking for shorts on futures. But with that being said, we're about ready. The blue part of the advantage indicator is above that 1.75. Just the red part, that trailer, is not quite there yet. But I think if we have one higher closing day, we might have one on Tuesday there. So we need a higher close on Monday. We'll have one on Tuesday. But, certainly not the worst prices that we've seen. We've come nice off the bottoms, pretty well here, down from that 8.55 region all the way up to $9. So be looking for an advantage alert here if you see a positive day here on Monday with soybeans. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the charts here. I talked a little bit about soybeans, but I'll talk about them again here in a little bit. We've got the corn market. We had a gap up here. We opened right at the 372 mark, and we saw some intraday resistance there at 372. So there's, no surprise that we've seen a little bit of selling there. I think this 374, 375 mark is probably our next big strong area of resistance. As you can see, that was an area that mattered on the 28th, 29th, and 30th there. So I think 374, 375, and then the big test is 381. I think if we can get above 381, we're headed to a test of this 393, 392. Gap fill there. So we've had a nice flush off the bottom here. Certainly rejected the selling off of that WASD. So I think if you're looking to be long, you want to be long on a retracement, maybe 363 to 366, somewhere in there. But we'll see if we can get a pullback in D's corn. Like I said, soybeans. We've rallied about 36 cents here since September 11th there. Really we've been testing this top end trend line here. As you can see, it connects these three highs now. I think we've also got, we had some resistance in there at $9. I think if we clear this in here and we can get a close above this trend line, we're probably headed back up to this 920 region, and then this 940 to 945 area. So those are the areas to watch here: 905, 920, and 940 to 945 in Nov beans. And really, obviously, they've been following the soybean oil market. As you can see, we've gapped up there above the 2950 resistance level there, and just following along with the world crude oil market. And you can really tell that it's following, the oil market, because obviously this is this is soybean meal. They're up, about $0.50 here on the overnight. Soybean meal does not really care. It's just being, showing some support here as soybeans are a little bit firmer. The wheat market following corn. Let me take a look here in the wheat market. We had a little bit of resistance there in the wheat market up there at the 490 region. Just seeing some resistance in there right around that 50-period moving average, which is the tan line there. I think if we can get above 490, we're probably headed back up to this, 498 to $5 mark. That's the area I've been looking at. We saw some buyers come in there, and we've seen some sellers, come back in at a retest of that area. So, basically between 497 and 503, I'd like to see that area come in and be a seller on wheat. So the cotton guys saw a nice breakout here along with the soybean market. Went up to test this 62.66 and saw sellers below that. I would guess just with the reaction of the soybean market here on the overnight that we're probably going to gap up higher. If we do gap up above this, 62.75, I would think that we're probably headed back up to this area where we found sellers up here at 64.50 region. I think, if we get back up, especially above 63, we're probably headed back up to 64.50, 64.75. Over in, we'll do the cattle market here. October live cattle. Saw some selling up in here at the $99 mark. Really back inside of this range between 98 and 100 to 101. Kind of knocking on the door on the bottom end of this range here. We, regained this support here on September 11th there, and we've done nothing but chop sideways there. I think if we can, if we're going higher, I think we're going to find sellers between 100 and 101 at the top end of this range. If we're heading lower, we're probably going to break this $98 mark, go back down and test, 96 and possibly down at this swing at the swing low at 93, 90, 94. So in the hog market here, kind of just a note, I'm not going to show you here today, but the deferreds have been doing a lot better. The deferred contracts have rallied pretty significantly here, about $7.50 over the last 2 days, and they're all the way up in here. They've already broken out of this sideways consolidation. But the October contract is still inside the consolidation here. Obviously, we found buyers at the $60 psychological support level, and we do have another kind of important support level between 61.50 and 62. Obviously, we're well above that. I think we're headed up to this $68.60, $68.70 mark. If we can get above there, we're probably headed to the mid-70s. But, I think we're headed for the near term just to 68.70, see what that'll do, give that a test. And other than that, I'll, believe that we're still inside of this trading range between 68.70 to give or take $62. So that's all I got. If you guys want to give me a call at 712-262-7606 to talk markets, or you can visit me at aa-commodities.com. Have a great week, and thanks for watching. Appreciate it.